Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys how strong I was able to get in about 4 months worth of progression in Scania. So you can see I have all my gears here. My pets are dead because I think I ran out of pet food. Yeah, I definitely did. So these are all my gears, and I've been playing this for about 4 months now. I started off as a hero, but I really didn't like training hero, so I just kind of stopped. But I never really had gears for him until I made this Adele, and just to prove that this was made about 4 months ago, is the first quest that we complete as an Adele, and this is completed on 10/20, so I'm just about 3 days short of my 4 month anniversary on Scania, and this is pretty much all the gears I had to show for it, and I figured this would be a good video to make because I know there's definitely a lot of debate right now regarding which server is better, Reboot versus um, regular server, especially with the whole KMS drama with the Korean Maplers realizing that in order to progress in regular server, you do have to spend a lot of money in order to get your gears to the same point that you could get into Reboot with just your time. And Korean Maplestory specifically already play this game a lot anyways, so you know that time progression versus the cost progression is probably more worth it for them than it is in GMS. But I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys how far I was able to make it through just, uh, reg server, training, helping friends, and then spending a bit of my own personal money just because I did want to be able to one shot and do damage, etc., etc. So to start off, these three totems I got for free. Free in the sense that I got them from Marble Machine years ago, and I haven't really claimed them, so I just kind of took them all here. And I believe I bought this one for probably like 500 mil in the auction house, but I didn't really think to include it because it's kind of negligible in the grand scheme of things. But if you guys really wanted to know, then yeah, that was about 500 mil. And I guess I'll go ahead and start with my gear. So how I know these are the right costs, again, they're always going to be rough estimates, just because I don't like giving out, or not that I don't like giving out. I don't obviously. There's a couple things where like, say I used 8 cubes instead of a full pack. I'll go ahead and round it to the full pack of 11 cubes anyways. And that's pretty much how I judge things. Just so you know, there's probably plus or minus 100, $200 in here from my grand total. Uh, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. And I'm also not saying that this is replicable in any way. This is just what I happen to do over the last 4 months. So I'll go ahead and start off with my first item. And what I'm going to basically do is give you guys an overview of how much I bought the item for, how much I spent star forcing it, and how much I spent potentialing it. So originally I bought this as a 17-star legendary ring with a 27% strength main pot. So I spent about 8 billion mesos on the ring, buying it from the auction house. I spent about 3 billion mesos tapping it to 22 stars. Yes, I know I got really lucky, um, but you know I can't really account for the luck, except for if I were to finish the rest of my items, I'd probably get a more balanced average Star Force cost. The potential on this one, I spent, of course, $0. And dollars in the sense that you can buy one KNX for $1. So it's 20. If I ever say it costs like $50, that just equates to 50 KNX, which I spent cubing it. So the potential was 0. And then for the B pot on this, I actually got really lucky, and I got this to 2-line, 12% legendary in one pack, which is about $24 or 24 KNX. The next item is my reinforced Scolex ring. I bought this with just the main potential and 17 star plus 6 for 8 billion mesos, which I thought was pretty cheap at the time, excuse me. And I spent about 10 bill star forcing this. I got this to, I want to say, like 19 or 20 star, like once in the like 30 times that I boomed it, and that's pretty much where a bunch of the mesos go because I boomed the shit out of this ring. But I didn't spend anything on the potential cost, and I also spent around $72 B-potting it, or getting this B-pot. And I'm gonna include a cost of which I did all of my tier ups at the end. So all the costs that I'm giving you right now are just strictly how much money I spent cubing at Legendary for the line. Solid Gollix ring. I spent about $32 or 5 billion mesos at the current exchange rate at the time. And I say $32 because you can always exchange Maple points, which you can get for NX for mesos in this meso market. And this was done obviously a couple months ago. So the rates were a little different back then. But yes, I spent about 5 billion mesos for this ring at 17 star with a 27% main pot potential. And let's see, I spent nothing on the main pot, and then for the B pot, I spent about $48 rolling for 2-line strength. Next up is the Meister ring. I actually bought this too for about 6 billion mesos from someone who was quitting. It was a pretty good deal because I got it 27% strength legendary with a legendary B pot, and I believe this is prime. So it was a super good deal for 6 bill. I spent 3 bill star processing this to 22 star. Yes, I know I got really lucky. I boomed it quite a bit, but then the last billion mesos I just hit, 18 to 22 pretty much straight up. And then for the B pot, I spent about $20 cubing it for 2-line strength. This cup was free, 64.4. I just got it from Pink Bean, so I don't really count that. My next up is the first superior pendant. I spent 8 billion mesos just buying the pendant at 17 stars with 27% strength main pot, so I spent 0 on the main pot. And I spent about 2 billion mesos star forcing this to 22 stars. So I actually got it to 17. I hit 18. Or actually took me about like 2 billion mesos, or like one or so-ish build just to hit 18 star. And then just the other day, I was tapping my 18 star items for fun because everything was 18 star. Um, and I ended up getting this to 21, and then last night I just tapped it once and I hit 22. So yeah, it was within like 2 billion, probably maybe even 3 billion mesos. Potential, I didn't pay anything for. And then the B pot, I actually rolled this within a pack of B pot cubes, which is about $24. This Superior Galax pendant, I spent the exact same amount just buying it, a 27% strength pendant, 8 billion mesos. I spent about 1 bill star pushing this, so this actually bounced around from 18 to 19 a bunch, but it never really hit 20, so I didn't really bother. For those of you guys who don't know, I actually just tap my items with like every time I have like 500 mil to a bill, just to see if I can hit 20 or 21 star and call it a day, and that's pretty much how I got these three. But yeah, I spent about 1 bill on it. The potential I didn't spend anything on, and I actually got this B pot relatively quickly. I got it within $14, which is about 5 or 6 cubes. This arcane umbra weapon was actually pretty cheap to acquire, so I spent about nothing just trying to get it. I spent about 2 bill scrolling it, so the plus 10 was during a spell trace fever, so I spent about 2 bill just tracing it with 15% to plus 10. And then I spent about 1 bill star forcing it to 17 star. I got the item to legendary using free in-game Meister cubes, so I'm not going to count a cost for that, but I did spend um, a couple red cubes, which didn't really work out, and then I got this main pot during the last Violet Cube event, and that took me about like 10 Violet Cubes, so that was about $30–40 for the main pot. And then the B pot, I was just tapping it because I threw one on there. I threw a couple real B pot cubes on there, and I ended up hitting unique. And then I threw a couple more, and then I hit 2-line attack, which is all I was really aiming for. So yeah, I did it all pretty much within like a pack of B pot cubes, which is about $24. This is probably my best purchase yet. So I actually bought this belt off some dude who was quitting along with some of my other gears. I believe my earring. and my CRA top and bottom, but I bought this belt for about 5 billion mesos. Um, Super cheap, I know, because it came with 17 stars. It came with both the main and bonus potential like this. And I spent quite a bit of mesos. I think it was around 6 bill tapping it. So this was originally 21 stars. And then I was bored one night and I tapped it once for fun and it boomed instantly. So yeah, what can you do, right? So I spent, yeah, 40 or 8 bill. Is that 8? No, 5 bill for the belt and then another 6 bill on Star Force on it. This hat, I bought this, like I said, with the belt. It was in a bundle. This costed me about 6 billion mesos. I spent 1 bill star forcing it, which is just random taps every now and then. Um, and then for the main pot, I spent about a pack of cubes. It came at 21% strength legendary, and I've just been throwing red cubes on it, seeing if I'll hit a lucky um, 30% or 27% strength. But yeah, so far it's just been nothing. Um, and then for the B pot, I threw a pack of bonus cubes on it one day, and I got really lucky, and I hit 7-4, which is really nice. The Sweetwater Tattoo, I actually bought this and my monocle in the auction house for 9 billion mesos each. So it came with the 30% strength legendary main pot, and I spent a couple bill tapping it, a couple or one random night. I spent about 3 bill, got to 21 stars, then I tried for 22 and it boomed, and then I got it back to 17 star with the scroll from the Clover shop, I think. It was a scroll from one of the shops, so yeah, 17 star scroll. Um, and then the B pot, I ended up spending about one pack of B pot cubes on it, so that's about $24. The Sweetwater monocle, oh man, this is probably my luckiest item ever, given that it's not even 22 stars yet. But the Sweetwater monocle, like I said, I spent 9 bill purchasing it. I spent 1 bill star forcing it to 16, 17, 18, and then just bouncing around. And then I spent $0 on the main potential because it came 30% strength. And then for the B pot, I actually remember this because one night I got really bored and I had a couple B pot cubes and I tapped this 3 times for a total of $7.20 and I got 3-line strength. And it was probably my biggest stroke of luck in this game to date. As for my top, again, like I said, I bought it in a bundle, for a 6 bill. It roughly costed me about 5-ish, um, or I spent about 5-ish bill just tapping it because it got to 19 and then it got to 20 and then it boomed instantly and I was just tapping it for fun. Just like I said, which is what I do every now and then. And then I spent nothing on the main pot so far, and I spent about one pack of B pot cubes to get the B pot, which is about $24. Trickster Warrior Pants, this one, I actually made this pretty much from scratch using CRA pieces. I got the flame. Um, sorry, I have this all written on the side. For the Star Force, I spent about 2 billion on it. It was 18 star at one point, and then I tapped it and it went down. I spent so far a pack of red cubes on the main pot, so I tiered it up to legendary using Meister cubes, and then I just threw a pack and I stopped at the first 2-line strength that I got. As for the B pot, I'll always remember this one too because I hit that 7-7 with 1 cube. As for the shoe, this is when I start spending more and more money. Well, actually, not really, because I also got really lucky on these items, but the shoe, I bought it clean in the auction house for 1 bill. I scrolled it using 30% spell traces, and then I got it to 17 stars within 2 bills. So that's both the spell tracing and star forcing. The main pot I actually used violet cubes for, and I hit this within 15 cubes, which is about $45. As for the B pot, I got it within the first 5 or 6 B pot cubes. As for the earring, I bought this in the auction house as well. Got it. Oh shoot, I don't have a price on this one, but I remember because all of my 30% strength items I pretty much bought for around 6 to 8 billion mesos. Um, and I definitely have not tapped this Star Force wise yet, but I knew at one point I did um, tap this to 18, and then I went back down to 17, which was just one tap. So this has been pretty much nothing in terms of meso cost for me. And then I spent about $12 on the B pot just tapping it because it was already unique when I bought it. And then I hit 2-line strength and I said that was good enough for me because if I can settle on 4-5 here, 4-4 is pretty much the same thing. As for the shoulder, again, I bought it clean from the auction house for 1 bill. I spent 2 bills just star forcing this. I haven't really done anything with the scrolling yet just because iCogs is way too expensive. And there's not really any other way to scroll a shoulder right now, but I got the main pot within 5 violet cubes, which is about $15. Uh, and then the B pot, I got it within 1 pack, which is about $24. Again, really lucky on a lot of my items. The Arcane Umbra glove, again, bought it for 1 bill, clean. I spent 2 bill spell tracing and star forcing it, which is pretty good. Um, I actually believe I tried tapping this to 18 star one time, and then it boomed instantly, and then I used the level 200 Star Force scroll from the last event on it, which got it back to 17 stars for free. So I'll go ahead, since I boomed it, that's like another 1 bill onto the cost. Sorry, I just remembered this. The potential cost costed me 5 violet cubes, which is about $15. As for the B pot, I got it within the first pack. I was just trying to see 3% crit damage once, and I hit it within the first pack. The emblem, this is probably my cheapest item ever made, period, for as close as to being finished, if only that magic attack line was attacked. But spent nothing to get it, because you get it once you hit level 100. Nothing to Star Force. I spent nothing to tier it up to unique. And then one day I just had 1 pack of red cubes and I threw it on here and I hit 35.99, which was good enough for me. So that was $12, and then I spent about 2 packs of Depot cubes on the B pot, which is about 48. So I spent total about $60 on this emblem. Ventus badge, not going to talk about it. Not going to talk about the emblem. This is actually not my secondary. So my secondary is 30% strength, 9%. I mean 30% strength, 30% strength, and then 9% attack with 18% attack B pot. And I bought it legendary main pot with 18% B pot in the auction house for about 9 billion mesos, and then I used violet cubes for the main pot, and it actually spent about a pack of violet cubes on it, which is about $30. So all in total, this is about like a $100 investment. Not this one, of course, my real one that I'm lending to a friend right now. As for my Arcane Umbra cape, again, like the usual, I spent 1 bill buying it clean. I spent 3 bill scrolling and star forcing it. I got this main pot in 2 violet cubes, which is about $6, and then the B pot I rolled within 1 pack, which is about $24. And so it's really nice. As for the flame on these 3 arcanes that can be flamed, pretty much all my flames I did using free, untradeable flames from events. So these are all from free flames, which is why I don't really account for any of the cost in my gear. So yeah, the only thing that I think I really flamed by myself were my sweet waters, but they're not even done. I haven't really thrown much flames on them yet. So yeah, whatever. And then last but not least, probably my most expensive item is the titanium heart, which is clean. I had this from Marvel, but it costs about 2 billion mesos to buy. Star Force is pretty much like 50 mils. I'm not even gonna count that. The potential. I remember I threw a bunch of Meisters on this and I didn't really get anything good, and I bought 20 red cube service from a friend and ended up tiering to, or not tiering, but um, tiering, it ended up hitting 30% strength within those 20 cubes, which is really nice. um, so the B pot though is probably the most expensive B pot I've done yet. I spent about 4 packs of B pot cubes on this, which is about $96. In total, just over, or actually right on $120 just for this heart, which is probably one of my least valuable items. So I know throughout this video I didn't really talk about tier ups, and that's because I didn't really have much to tier up besides the B pots for a majority of my items, but I can say that I know for a fact my 4 arcanes were all unique when Violet Cubes came out, and I had to Black Cube them in order to get them to Legendary. The first thing, I remember very vividly, and I also have on video, that I spent 5 packs of Black Cubes on this glove alone, and it never tiered up. So I bought 2 more packs, and then I ended up tiering all 4 of these to Legendary. So I guess the luck kind of balanced out. But that was about $150 with the Black Cubes. And as for all the bonus pots that weren't already cubed or had to be tiered up, at the last double miracle time that we had, I spent about $400. I think it was in December, and I got pretty much all the B pots that I wanted to get to Legendary, which is why it's really easy for me to track because I haven't really cubed them to try to tier up, from rare or epic to Legendary ever on any of these. So that's about like 550 in just cubes to tier up. I know you guys are probably interested in the totals. Well, just to make it, no, I think this makes sense. So to acquire and Star Force all of my gear, I've spent about 150 billion mesos, which at the current exchange rate right here of 660 is about 7. So 150 is like 700 is 1,050 just on getting the gear and Star Forcing it all. And then my potential costs through just the random cubing sessions and the DMT and the Violet cubing session, I've spent $355 on the main pot and $950 on the B pot. All in total is about, what is that, 1200? 1200 for all the B pots and stuff. And if you guys just want a grand total in money that I spent for everything, if you were to convert the mesos to dollars using this Maplestory's cash or meso market system, it was about $2,400 for everything you see here. Aside from that, I trained my character to level 260. I got 800 or 880 Arcane Force. I know this is kind of misleading because I have a whole bunch of Arcane Force bonuses. I have level 2 on the Cernium symbol. My stat is 50,400 without pet buffs. All my pets are dead right now. Oh, they're not dead. They're just hungry. But yeah, they'll summon the cost. I have a back pet, which I rolled with 100 KNX. I'm not going to count that. Yeah, all in total, I'm about 52k stat, using my other shits, and then familiars, I didn't even account for my familiars, but they're kind of extra, so I have a 30% boss Zachem, I have a 40% boss Zachem, and then I have a 35% boss Horntail. I bought each of these familiars for about 500 mil, and I probably spent about $500 cubing them for one line boss. So yeah, you can add that to the total if you want. That'll put me around $2,900 to $3,000 for this. Pretty much everything that I've done, gear and damage wise. Of course, I've spent money on other things too, like aesthetics. But this has nothing to do. This is all optional parts of the game, which I'm not going to include. But if I had to give a rough estimate, I've probably spent about $500 to $1,000 on cosmetics. But yeah, that's my video today. Guys, if you have any questions down below, please feel free to ask and leave any comments that you guys want. If I were to give an honest opinion, I would probably go to Reboot if I had time, which I kind of do now, to play Maplestory, but I think you just need to find the server where you have a community that you enjoy to play on. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all next time. Peace!